Welcome into So Chalant. I am Katie Ruby, and this week I am so pumped for this podcast. I spent most of my life trying to dial it back about things I'm interested in, and let me tell you, that has resulted in some seriously weird interactions where I'm like, did you know that Canada thought that they won the War of 1812? Only to realize that most of the world is trying to play it cool. So then I have to back it down from that sort of really excited intro, and that's how I earned this sweatshirt, literally given to me by friends who know that this is just who I am. But this podcast is different. I'm creating a space where being cool about something is absolutely unnecessary. In fact, it's discouraged. I want to know what you're excited about, the things that make your little heart go pitter patter. And on this podcast, we are absolutely not nonchalant. We are so chalant. Let's meet our first guest. It's Christine Rouselle. Christine is a great friend from Twitter. I'm so excited to see her. When I put out that I wanted to know like what people were interested in and what they were doing that was cool and interesting, Christine was like, I would do it. And somebody on Twitter already knew what she was going to talk about. So before you tell everybody, tell us about yourself, Christine.
So I'm originally from Maine, born and raised there, and yeah, the face you just made. I
Yeah.
joke it's really exotic because Maine's kind of the opposite of exotic. But I live in Virginia right now, outside of DC, and everyone's like, "Oh wow, I've never met anybody from Maine." So I'm happy to be an ambassador for the Pine Tree State. I am a reporter. I work for Alatea, and I am the owner of two cats and a very messy condo.
Maine is the pine tree state?
Yep,
Who knew that? I would have
Maine.
said lobster. Lobster is the only thing that comes to mind when I think of Maine.
We actually produce more low bush blueberries than any other state in the nation. And it might even be like North America. Like Maine's got a ton of blueberries, but no one really knows about it.
Wow. I mean, you guys really went the wrong route with the branding then. Everybody thinks of that horrible sea, it's the cockroach of the ocean. Let's be honest
Mhm.
with ourselves.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Ugh,
they're
so gross.
delicious.
Yeah, they used to be for poor people. Did you know that? Like,
Well, sort of. So because it wasn't like they weren't like served like steamed lobsters. It was lobsters that had been dead for a while. So they served them rotting lobsters because lobsters start to rot like the second they die, which is why you have to kill them as you're cooking them.
yeah.
So yeah, the poorer people were given like already dead lobster, so that's why it was for them. They weren't like given lobster thermidor or anything, or like they weren't like snacking on lobster rolls.
Well, sure, but like
Yeah.
it's like a scene in Little Women that people are usually confused by, where like Amy's on the omnibus because she's gonna have her friends over, and she wanted to make a chicken salad, but they couldn't afford it, so she had a lobster in her basket, and it was already bright red, and she's all like totally freaked out that somebody's gonna
hmm
see her lobster and it falls out. It's a whole thing.
hmm
Anyway, it's just a wild anachronism, I guess.
Yeah, no, for sure.
All right, Christine, tell us what you are so chalant about right now.
I am the least chalant possible about, or the most chalant
Most
possible.
chalant,
Can
yeah.
we cut? Can we edit that?
No.
Oh, there's no. um, I'm clearly not good at the double negatives. I am very into Irish dance.
Irish dance.
Yep.
Nice. I am so excited about that. So tell me a little bit about what is Irish dance? Like, I don't even. Okay. Okay. I'm trying to be cool right now, which is the opposite of what we're supposed to do. But there was a girl in my high school who did Irish dance
hmm
every year for the talent show. Her name was Tara. She was very, very pretty. She had this like crazy beautiful wig and like this perfect nose. Anyway, it was absurd. And she would always win or at least get second in the talent show because she was doing this like freaky Lord of the Dance thing that nobody else could
hmm
do. So I'm aware of what it is. I'm envious of what it is, but I'm trying to play it cool for the viewers. Tell us about Irish dance.
So Irish dance, I mean, obviously started in Ireland, and made its way to the US through, honestly, it's kind of interesting. It reminds me almost of like how bishops work, because there's like trees of like this instructor was taught by this instructor who was taught by this instructor who came over from like Dublin on this day. And there's like a whole like a coaching tree kind of thing of where different styles are from. And
Bishops or
became
Jedi, whatever.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And it's kind of its own little cottage industry in the US. And there's competitions that are called feshes, which is Irish for, I think, like gathering or party.
Sure.
And those are held fairly frequently around the country in different areas. I'm actually going to Kansas City, Missouri next week for one. And you start at the beginner level and then you work your way up into the open champion level. And it's taken over my life completely, and I could not be happier.
Open champion. That's
Hmm.
incredible. The idea of there being an open championship to me sort of feels like when they tell you should put an average person in the Olympics. It's like, it's open. It's open. Go amongst the champions. All right. So, how did this passion first grab you?
Well, like everyone basically of my age group, I saw river dance, or like I heard of river dance as a child. And growing up in Maine, at the time we only had one registered Irish dance teacher. We'll put a pin in that and circle back to that. When I was a kid. So, and my brother did travel hockey, so like my mom was not about to enroll me in a travel sport as well, but I did other kinds of dance.
Right.
And I was a clogger. Like you don't use actual clogs. It's like a type of percussive dance similar to tap. And my teacher basically like hired the only registered Irish dance teacher in the state to like be like an equivalent of an adjunct teacher at my dance school, and she taught the senior clogging team a Lord of the Dance or River Dance-esque style like number, which is not how dance competitions work at all in Irish dance. But it got the job done. It was impressive. People liked the loud noises and, the synchronization and everything. And I was like, I want to do that. So I learned Irish dance basically very out of order than the typical thing. So I learned the Lord of the Dance style dancing first, which is not remotely how anybody is supposed to
That's
learn
what
Irish
Tara
dance.
used to say. Tara was like, that's
Mhm.
not real Irish dance.
No, it's really
Hmm.
entertaining. Like I've seen Riverdance several times, and it's I love it. But then with the success of that, they hired her on as like to teach like not just the senior clogging team like a thing, but like also just to teach an individual dance class for Irish dance. That's when I was introduced to like soft shoe dancing. So there's soft shoes and hard shoes. If you've seen Riverdance or the dance, you'll see that sometimes the shoes make noise and sometimes they don't. And then I started to learn the more traditional manner of things of like learning light jigs, learning reels, learning slip jigs. And that's when I did my first competition. I was 12, I think. And then I did the class again the next year. And then that was 2004. And then I stopped. But it was like, I got to like advanced beginner was the level of competition that I was at.
I love
And
the
then
title advanced beginner. It's so
it means you
ridiculous.
it means you've been taking class for more than a year, but you
Hmm.
haven't placed first, second, or third in each dance at the competitions.
Oh, all right.
So once you place first, second, or third in advanced beginner, you move into novice. And then once you win a novice competition, it's called prize winner. And then once you win a prize winner competition, each school is different, but once you win a certain number of prize winner competitions in the dances, you move into preliminary champion. And once you've won two preliminary championships, you are an open champion.
Wow. Somebody out there is really into 4-H and is trying to like put these categories together where you're like a prize winner. It feels like a very Wilbur situation,
See,
the
I
titles.
don't do I have no 4-H knowledge, but one of my dance teammates actually it was a 4-H kid. She actually just graduated from Purdue with a like a veterinary nurse degree. So there is some slight overlap of
I would say I feel like there's
yeah.
at least a personality crossover there where like the horse girls who didn't get into horses definitely would
Mhm.
like Irish dance. I'm not sure how or why, but that makes sense in my head.
And well yeah, so that was 2004 was my last Irish dance competition. Flash forward to 2018. It's a Sunday in I think late February, early March, and I ran into a friend of mine after mass, and she was going to brunch, and I was like, "Can I crash your brunch? It's been a while. We should catch up." While I was there, I met a woman named Anna, who I'd never met before, and I don't even think I'd ever seen her before, and just completely in the opposite of the spot, very nonchalantly mentioned she takes adult Irish dance lessons, and I was like, "Where?"
Hmm.
So she said where the classes were held and the school name. And I had been kind of looking to sort of get back into dance, like very casually, because it's like I miss it. I was good at it, like it's a fun thing, but nothing really seemed like the right fit. A lot of the clogging stuff that I had found in the area was just a little too southern for my Yankee self.
Sure.
So I'm not going to stop them, but like I'm not going to also join. But so I was looking for something to do. I Google Maps it and I was like, oh, it's a 25-minute drive from my house where your classes are. I know I just met you, but I'm going to join your dance class. And I had no idea at the time, but that turned out to be the most expensive brunch of my life and
Yeah.
by a lot.
Pick up a
And
hobby during brunch and you're likely to spend more than you bargained for. It's not just the mimosa at
yeah,
that point.
it wasn't even like a mimosa brunch. It was just like bagels.
Oh dear.
Yeah, no, like, this was a completely sober decision. And so I emailed the school and I was like, "Hi, I haven't danced in 14 years. I haven't done Irish dance in 14 years. Um, but I have like the basics of like certain types of dance. Like, I'm a quick learner, I promise. Like, what level should I sign up for? And they're like, do adult beginner. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I basically showed up at this random girl who I met at brunch's dance class 2 weeks later. And I was like, oh, this is going to be a casual thing. Like, I don't think I'm going to go too deep into it. Like, I just need to do something to stay active. And then I feel like if we were like on TikTok, it would like freeze frame and go into like the, oh, I'm hopeful. Yes, I am. It was like, it was not a
Yeah.
casual thing. Like,
It
she
was
got really into it. Um, so at that point, I didn't even own Irish dance shoes. I'm taking classes. I was wearing socks and like old jazz shoes. And then in June of 2018, I actually bought shoes. July of 2018, did my first competition, or my first competition in 14 years. And then it's been uphill or downhill ever since, depending on your perspective.
various levels of difficult and enjoyable,
Hmm.
I guess. So what,
Yeah,
like, maybe not like with the gap in the middle, but since 2017, you said when you came back
18.
2018, since then, what keeps you coming back to Irish dance?
There's always something you can improve on. Like, you've never like won Irish dance. Like,
Mm.
I feel like it's like I also like dabbled with running for some weird reason. And it's like I feel like at some point you're like, you're gonna peak. Like, you will never run a 5K faster than a certain point. And then it's kind of like, and like running doesn't change. Like, you will be putting one foot in front of the other and hopefully try not to trip. But with Irish dance, there's always something different. There's like some girl on Instagram will post a video of her doing something, and it's like, oh, that's the new trend now. And there's always technique to learn. The community is fantastic. There's always competitions to be won. You can always place higher. You can always, self improve. And yeah, and I just really like it.
I'm going to make sure that this podcast is published before my friend T. Wills comes on because he wants to talk about running. And he would be like,
Okay.
what is she talking about? Has she even seen the nerd gummy cluster stuff? Which
We
is,
use those in Irish dance, actually. We sold that from the runners.
oh, thieves.
I,
It's fine.
I have a pack of nerd gummies literally in my dance bag.
Nerd gummy clusters are for everyone. I don't
They are.
believe in, yeah, we're not going to gatekeep the nerd gummy clusters. Absolutely not. All right. So if I wanted to start doing this, if I wanted to like dip my toes into this territory, what would I need to know? Where would I start?
So you can start as a complete adult beginner, or if you want to sign your child up, like be complete beginner at any age is completely acceptable and fine. So I dance for an organization for a school. It's in the organization called CLRG, and that it's based in Dublin. It's the largest, it's the oldest Irish dancing organization. So to find a CLRG school, you go to in the US at least, you go to idtana.org, idtana.org. And then there's literally a find a school button. And you just type in your address or your zip code and see the schools that pop up. A lot of schools have adult fitness programs that are completely non super committed. Like, it's just learning dances, learning kind of the basics of everything. No competition required or even encouraged. It's just fun. My school does that. I do not take that class, unfortunately. I take the champ, you're all in class. But
Only competition based.
yeah, a little less intense, yeah, than that. But but yeah. So there is that, and then if you look on the Idatana website, I will note that my face is on there because I did model for their photo shoot back in 2022,
Nice.
as an example of an adult dancer. So if you're like, wait, that girl looks familiar, yes, it's the article title, "Does Irish dance have an age limit?" And it's me saying no.
Christine is here
So
to tell you not only does she love this thing, so much so she'll give it her image and likeness for all time.
yes, and I'll go to I've been to competitions all throughout the country too. Like, I never thought I would get this deep into it, but I've flown as far away as Phoenix for a competition. Um, then that's where Nationals was in 2021. And the Nationals this year, which is the shirt I'm wearing, was actually in DC. So I got to stay at my own house and Uber in every day, which was nice.
That's sweet. All right, I'm going to ask all of like the very logistical questions
Hmm.
because the hope here is that people will get excited about something and maybe try something new, right?
Hmm.
So, I'm so cheap. I am cheap in a way that people cannot
Hmm.
possibly understand. What do I have to buy to get started in Irish dance?
So at the very minimum level, you'll need shoes. But a lot of schools have like an old shoe bin that they will like provide people with. Like, I know we have like a giant like plastic tub. So you'll have soft shoes, which are the ones that you start with. These are called gillies, or pumps, depending on it's nothing in Irish dance is standardized. Like, there's about 15 different words for everything.
Sure.
Um, and then once you progress through the soft shoe dances, which are reel, light jig, single jig, and slip jig, like once you learn that, your teacher will tell you it's time to buy heavy shoes, which are these ones.
They have a
Um,
heel.
they have a heel and a toe, and it's fiberglass and
Wait, turn that sideways.
like
Oh my
this.
gosh. No, like I want to see the front end looks like a high heel, but on the toe.
Yep.
Oh,
So that's how.
wow.
Yep. And boys' shoes are a little different. Boys have the same hard shoes, but their soft shoes are like this, but there's no toe bit. It's just the heel. So
Okay.
they make loud noise for their soft shoe and hard shoe dances, whereas the women do not. So then you move into hard shoes, but again, like a lot of used shoes are available if you're trying to not spend a fortune on this. Um, and a lot of schools, like they know that the activity can be expensive, so they try to make it as easy as possible for buying used dresses, buying or keeping costuming cheap for like older adults, like if they're that thing. Like my team this past year did a group dance at our regional competition, and our dress was $29 from Amazon.
Nice.
So you can spend a lot, and you can also spend minimum. Like it's really kind of depends on your comfort level and just what your teacher prefers.
Okay, this might not be a question that other people would think to ask because they may not have any familiarity with Irish
Hmm.
dance, but I had kind of a girl crush on a girl in high school who was absolutely into Irish dance. And so I would like to know about the wigs. Um, first of all, I
Of
thought she
course.
just had, I thought her mom was just crazy talented
Hmm.
at doing hair. I was like, wow, I didn't even know Tara had that much hair. Turns out
She
it's a
doesn't.
wig. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me about the wigs.
So, the wigs are very polarizing in Irish dance. I am pro because they make getting ready so much easier. So, like, you don't have to sleep in curlers and, like, you don't have to, like, fight with your kid to, like, get their hair looking nice. And with a wig, it'll stay the same all day as long as you don't, like, move the wig. So, there's several types of wigs in Irish dance. So, like, and I have examples for you. So, these were the first that I wear. They're like little stretchy buns, and you'd stack them to make them look bigger, and you put it, like, right on the top of your head. That was, like, my beginner thing, and then we also had like a more polished version of that for like big competitions. So like the hair just looks nicer and it just
Okay. And then you're
um
doing like a ponytail with massive curls.
so that's coming.
Oh, okay.
So then there's so every school has different preferences of what they like their dancers to wear. And so for my school, our team's dancers, but sometimes like your individual costumes wear what's called a bun wig. And this looks kind of disturbing. Like, so this is a bun wig. So the way that you put this on is you do your hair in like like you put like you section off like a bang thing, and then you put your hair in a very high bun, and then you put pieces of foam to like support the wig um underneath it, and then you pin and kind of just make it look nice, and you look a little bit like Marge Simpson, but like it kind of works. Like it stops looking weird after you get used to it.
Sure.
um and then you tease the front bit and like swoop it into like a poof, so like kind of blend it in with the hair, and then put in a hairpiece to make the look complete.
Okay,
But
that's the foam thing sounds weird until like I went through a phase of life because again I have never been cool
mhm,
where I was like really into Jewish head coverings. Like I
mhm,
wanted to copy it. I thought it was cool, so they do like a tickle is what it's
mhm,
called. And it has like a donut foam thing that you
yep,
put over your head. It's the same.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Except so like here's a example from my other wig box of like one of the foam donuts, and you can also cut them in half to get like a more like this size thing. Um, but for my solo outfit, which is the ones every dancer's solo dress is completely bespoke. It's entirely unique. It was made to my measurements. Nobody else in the world has a dress that looks exactly like mine. Sorry, I'm also finding earrings in my wig thing, which I was wondering where these went. I have found my competition earrings. You
I'm
just
so happy for you.
yeah.
Like
So
a find.
these are this is a full wig, um, which is the one that your classmate wore, and it's the longer curl. I prefer it versus the bun wig, but this is just my preference. There's not like one isn't better than the other. Um, and this one you have to like basically staple it to your head, but
Yes.
it's absurd. Like it's like I will admit it's truly absurd, but it makes getting ready so much easier. So you do for to get this into your head, you do two ponytails in the base of your neck, and then you kind of like braid them into a big ponytail, and you have the bang bit thing. I stack two donuts and then a half donut on top. And oh, and there's Moira. Look.
Hey
And
Moira.
then you like basically put it in like this, and then It's really high, and then you can actually put foam underneath it too to make it look even higher because you want to stand out on stage. So the way competitions work is you're dancing at the same time as at least one other woman, and you want to get the attention of the judges. So you want to have the bigger hair, you want to have the flashier dress, you want to have the shinier shoes
Hang
because
on,
you're
hang on.
basically, yep.
You just buried the lead there. You're dancing at the same time as someone else. So it's like a rap battle. You're trying to get somebody like look at me more so than her, and she's on the
Mhm.
same stage at the same time.
Doing a completely different steps, but the same. Like you don't know what song you'll be dancing to until it starts playing, but you know the time signature and how many beats per minute it is.
That is
So like
so aggressive.
it is, and like people have like gotten knocked off stages before, and like a boy from my dance school, he's sixth in the world, so he's incredibly talented. He accidentally kicked someone in the middle of his dance at Worlds this year, and like there's a video of it online, and it was like, oh, poor kid, but like everyone was fine, and like the judges don't hold it against you because they know that like accidents happen, and he didn't purposely kick this person, but yeah, like you talk backstage of like my first step goes to the left and then I turn right and then I go in around this and then I go, and you basically try to like navigate around each other. Like I for my real dance, I my third step has a lot of high kicks in the beginning. So I told the person, I was like, I don't want to kick you in the face, but like, stay out of my way for like once we get to the third step because like I start off with like it's point, knee down, big kick, and like don't be there basically is what I told her, like politely. And like she doesn't want to kick me either. So then we just kind of gave each other space for that part of the dance. But yeah, you dance on stage at somebody else, you do a set number of bars of choreography, and then you bow and then leave, and then you find out how you did.
It is such a good thing that Tanya Harding never got into this sport, like or
Oh
anybody with
yeah.
her personality. That could have been
Oh no,
bad.
there are definitely Tanya Harding people who are like we were at a competition in Maryland, at the state fairgrounds. Literally, the building is called the Cow Palace. It's where they have the cow competitions. But obviously, the
Again,
state fair season was over, so they had
it's that
stages set up.
that FFA. There,
I
it's
know.
right there. I don't
I,
know
I
what the
told you.
connection is.
I told you there's an overlap. Um, so like this is not a major competition. It is a warm up to like the big ones, like just to kind of get your steps on a stage and see how they score and see how judges think. So my friend was doing like talking to another woman's side. Say again, we're all adults in my competition. Like there's the youngest is like 22, and she's talking and she's like, "Oh, like what way do your steps go? So like we can avoid each other." And again, we're literally in a building called the Cow Palace. It is not that deep. We are not at the World Championships. We are not at regionals. We are not at nationals. We are not at anything major.
We are at the
And she
Cow
goes,
freaking Palace.
yeah, and
Yeah.
she goes, "I'm going where I'm going, whether you're there or not." And it's like, okay, like, ma'am, we're at the Cow Palace. Like, we're literally at the Cow Palace. Like,
She's
it's like
strapped. Oh,
yeah.
oh.
So like some people have a more like aggressive reputation than others, but typically there was a cheating scandal, but that's a whole other podcast thing. That yeah.
Okay. That might live in my head forever. So, like, my plan is for this podcast is to start every episode with like, "This is the thing I've been thinking about this week," and it might be that I need to Google the Irish step dance cheating
Cheating.
scandal.
Yeah, it made like international news. Like it was on like CNN, and BBC did a whole documentary. Like it was actually really, yeah. It
Oh my
was,
gosh!
and the weirdest thing is there's no money in it. Like you don't win money when you win worlds. You just win like reputation points. And
Sure,
that's part of the reason why I like it so much is because it's so nice to have an activity that I'm very invested in and passionate about that's like completely divorced from my job.
right.
And so like I've been at various different dance schools since I started dancing again, and the dance school I'm at now is mostly teens, but like everybody who's of the same competitive level is in the same class. So the youngest in my class is 8, the oldest is in her 40s. And so obviously I'm on the older end of the spectrum. So like I'll mention something about work and everyone's like, "Wait, what do you do for a living?" And I'm like, "Oh, right. Yeah, hi." Like um
Whoops.
it's also kept me very like abreast of like what Gen Z is up to. Like I learned the 6'7" meme before I feel like most adults did. And the
Yeah,
look on your face suggests you also know what 6'7"
I live
is.
on the internet. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um and it's nice to like kind of show people that like and it's because I go to a very competitive school. We have a lot of very high standards. But it's also like showing my like classmates that like you don't have to like quit when you're 18 or when you're out of
Mhm.
college or when like you don't expire as a dancer. Like you can keep doing it as long as your joints will let you.
Yeah. All right. The last big question for this is: what is an unexpected way that Irish dance has shaped your life or how you see the world?
Ooh, that's a good one. So I think, like I just said, the community aspect, because I'm exposed to so many different people. Like I have friends who work in the medical field. I have friends who are in progressive nonprofits that I never thought I would ever like. I met a whole cross section of society that I never would have met had I stayed in my own little bubble. I've traveled to places I never thought I would go to. Um, and it's really just kind of it's created like a community of this weird little niche sport that I do um, that has really broadened my friendships, broadened my view on the world. And it's like a fun, healthy, competitive outlet that is not running a 5K.
That is not running a. Nobody is asking you to Irish step dance on Thanksgiving morning for no good reason, unless you wanted
Exactly.
to.
St. Patrick's Day, yes, there's many. We call it like it's Heck Week for I don't
Sure,
want to
but
swear on
there's
your
booze
podcast, but
after that. So I don't care.
well, a lot of people don't drink that I dance with, which I found out on St. Patrick's Day, and I was like, "Let's get Guinnesses," and they're like, "Oh, I don't drink," and I'm like, "Oh, now I
That
look like a lush."
happens. That happens with
Like,
runners too. Well, yeah,
yeah,
kind of. Depending on like what circle you run in, you'll. I have a
yeah,
friend who had like bad news in her life, and I was like, you want to go get coffee? You want to go get booze? Like, let me know. I'm up for
hmm
everything. It's fine. All right, lightning round, Christine. Are you ready? I have to read
yes,
these, so
I hope.
got to look them.
Okay,
Okay, try to give like short, quick, first thing that comes to
okay,
your mind. Okay, ready? What
hmm
is something that you are definitely not chalant about?
Irish
Something you're
dance.
not excited
Oh,
about.
not excited about. Breaking in new shoes.
Breaking in new shoes. Okay. If you had to be so chalant, like so excited about one brand new thing tomorrow, what would you choose?
Like completely different from like anything I've done before.
Hmm. Like you wanted to just suddenly get into something, what would it be?
I feel like I did this with Formula One. So like I feel like I'm like at my capacity with like things I'm interested in. So like we'll fast forward. Pretend you asked me that question in like 2023, and I'll just say Formula One.
Okay, cool. What is the most unexpectedly, like, who's the person that you know that's most excited about the stuff that they're into? Who's the most chalant person you know?
In dance or in like
In
life?
life. In life.
Um, I'll say dance, and I'll say my dance teacher. His name is Scott Porter, and he's a genius.
Super hype about everything.
hmm
Okay. We kind of touched this one tonight, so you can't use the previously mentioned answer. What snack or drink fuels your chalant vibes?
Celsius, well, watermelon Celsius.
Oh, okay.
Well, my dance school is powered by Celsius. It's like almost disturbing.
Everybody's got a liver problem. They've all got
I'll
ulcers.
have like 13-year-olds like beg me for a sip of Celsius, and I'm like, it's like trying to sneak wine at like Thanksgiving dinner, and I'm like, no, like I don't think this is legal for you to drink, but
You're some
yeah,
13-year-old's pusher. Oh,
watermelon Celsius, and then at nationals after I was done, I immediately downed a margarita.
excellent. And what do you hope that people will remember about you in the next 10 years?
I hope they remember my passion for not just dance, but for the stories that I cover for my job and the like my friendships and like the people that I care about. And I hope they just remember me as like a solidly like a good gal, like dependable, and that I will stand up for what I believe in.
That's rad. All right. Thank you so much for being with us, Christine. And hey, if you liked this podcast, find me on Twitter. I'm at Mrs. Ruvia on Twitter. Tell me what you thought of it or put it in the comments below. This is the very first episode, so I'm open to feedback. And this is a hobby podcast that I'm doing just for funsies. So I'm here to learn stuff and you tell me what you want to see. Bye.
Bye.